How to play a ranger in Dungeons & Dragons version 3.5. The ranger is a class that combines some elements of a fighter and a rogue with some unique abilities of its own. Rangers are hunters of a sort who specialize in pursuing a few kinds of creature but are capable even when faced with different opponents. This article will teach you how to create a ranger. You should be familiar with the basics of Dungeons & Dragons DD version 3.5 before you read this article. This article only deals with the nuts and bolts of creating a character. All good characters have personality, hopes, dreams, goals, likes, dislikes, history, and so on. Creating a complete character will greatly improve your gaming experience. Steps 1. Read about rangers. Before you make the character or play one, you should read the entire entry about rangers in the Player's Handbook, PHB. 2. Pick a race. Every race can become a good ranger, although this choice may affect what kind of ranger you are. One key is that rangers must decide if they will be archery or melee combat specialists. If you want to use melee combat, then dwarf, half, orc, or human are good choices. If you want to be an archer, then elf, halfling, or human are good choices. One rarely played kind of ranger is based on more social skills, much like a detective. Half, elves, and humans are good at this type. 3. Generate and assign your vital statistics. You should first ask the Dungeon Master, DM, of your game how vital statistics, stats, can be made. Rangers need good stats because of their diverse abilities. If you wish to fight in melee, you will want a 16 or better strength, 14 or better constitution and dexterity, and 12 or better wisdom and intelligence. If you want to be an archer, then you will want a 16 or better dexterity, really 18 or higher is best, but 16 will work, a 12 or better constitution, intelligence and wisdom, and a 10 or better strength. If you want to be a more social character, such as a detective who tracks criminals, then you will want slightly more emphasis on mental stats and less on physical ones. These are the ideal and are hard to obtain with the point by system of stat generation. You may need a lucky roll to be a good ranger. 4. Pick your starting skills and feats. Choosing skills is a little difficult for a ranger because there are many good choices and they do not have enough points to learn all the useful skills. If you wish to stalk your prey like a predator, then you will need hide, move silently, spot and listen. If you wish to make use of the ranger's tracking feat, obtained for free and first level, then you will need the survival skill. If you wish to get information from other humanoids, then you will need bluff, gather information, diplomacy, and sense motive. If you plan to take an animal companion at 4th level, then you will need the handle animal skill to control it. Your feats primarily affect your combat ability. Feats such as weapon focus, improved initiative, power attack, and cleave all help melee fighters. Instead of power attack and cleave, archers will want feats like precise shot and rapid shot. Make sure that you do not take a feat that you gain from your ranger class levels. 5. Choose your favorite enemy. All rangers specialize in pursuing a small number of types of creature. At levels 1, 5, 10, 15, 20 you get to add a new favorite enemy. For a full explanation of the ability, read its description in the Ranger section of the PHB. When choosing your favorite enemy, you may make the choice based on your character's personality. For example, a childhood trauma involving an animated corpse may lead them to hunt down and destroy the undead. Alternatively, you may base the choice on the game's world. You can ask the DM if there are any creatures that are particularly troublesome in your character's home region, or perhaps some that are hunted for monetary gain. 6. By starting equipment. You will need a primary weapon and a backup weapon. For archers, your backup weapon is a melee weapon, and for melee combat specialists, it is a ranged weapon. The long bow is the best ranged weapon for an archer. Eventually you will get a composite long bow. For melee fighters, the choice is a little more difficult. You will be fighting with two weapons, so you should review the rules for two-weapon fighting in the PHB. If your weapons are not the right type, it will give you penalties. A one-handed martial weapon and a light martial weapon are a common choice, for example a long sword and a short sword, or a battle axe and a hand axe. All rangers need armor. Studded leather is good at first level, and survival gear, bedroll, rations, etc. 7. Understand your abilities. As you level up, you will get certain class abilities. Make sure that you read about each one as you gain it and that you understand it. If you do not use all your powers correctly, you will either annoy the other players or weaken your character, possibly both. 8. Know your spells. At later levels, a ranger gets some minor spell casting. Your spells are similar to a druid's and mostly deal with surviving in nature and dealing with plants and animals. You should review your spells in the PHB when you get them so that you know how to use them. It slows down the game a lot if you try to use a spell you do not understand. Remember that you have to select your character's spells for the day after each time they sleep. 9. Select your animal companion. You choose an animal companion as if you were a druid of 3 levels less than you are. For example, a 6th level ranger and a 3rd level druid get the same type of animal companion. If you choose to have an animal companion, you should prepare a small character sheet for it, including its armor class, AC, attacks, saving throws, and so on, so that you can use it easily during the game. Information about animal companions is found in the PHB's entry about druids. You do not have to take an animal companion. 10. Know your role in the party. Your choices during character creation shape your role in the party. If you have stealth skills, then you can make a great forward scout. Social skills might let you be the spokesperson of the party. During direct combat, you are a supporting fighter. You can help the fighter by flanking in melee combat or possibly by picking off enemy archers with well-placed arrows. Tips. Choosing two weapons of the same type, such as two short swords, makes feats like weapon focus work better because it applies to both of your weapons. Archers with a strength of 12 or better should get a mighty composite bow. You can use the survival skill for many tasks. A double weapon is a fun and effective choice, but often requires the feat exotic weapon proficiency. Choosing a double weapon also maximizes the effectiveness of the weapon focus feat. Do not worry about knowing when you are fighting your favorite enemy. It is the DM's job to tell you to add your bonus to damage. Warnings. Archers need a clear line of sight, so stay mobile if you choose archery. You do not have as many hit points (HP) as a fighter, so be ready to retreat from combat.